Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Too Soon Podcast. As usual, I am your host, Noah Royce. Joining me again today is co-host Sam Seguin. Say hello, Sam.
Hello, guys.
As you can see, we are not virtual today. We are in person, recording live from Sam's apartment because I'm staying with him for a couple days and figured we'd make the most of it. So, on the agenda for today, actually, first, Sam, how are you doing? How have you been? We've been hanging out for the last couple of days, but what's new? What's going
on? Nothing too new. Got visit. It's always good to have nice visit. Seeing an old childhood friend and hang out. Been skiing. Excited for this cold weather to disappear, so we can go on to summer mountain biking. Got too many new parts laying around needing a frame. I need this bike season to come along.
Yeah, I won't lie. I'm about ready for bike season to come around. I'm about to go to Mont Saint Anne to do the World Cup snowboard cross, and I'm like, my brain is in bike mode. I want to go ride my bike. But anyhow, on the agenda for today, as we're approaching bike season, we're looking forward to new bikes coming out. And today we wanted to talk about the bikes that we're most looking forward to seeing updated. And we're going to start off with road and gravel bikes, just because there's a couple less of them that we're super excited for. And aside from that, or rather, once we're done that, we're going to move on to mountain bikes. And I think there's a little more to say there. So let's get straight into things. I'll start us off. The first bike that I'm pretty excited to see come out, hopefully soon. I don't know about this year, but soon. You guys know we're both industry people. We're like we don't know anything about these bikes coming out. We're just hoping and praying for something to come out soon because they're pretty cool bikes and we want to see them updated. So on the road side, I'll start off with the Specialized Tarmac SL9. It's the one that everyone's talking about. Is it actually going to be a Tarmac? Are they going to bring back the Venge? Who knows? Are they going to double down again on the do-it-all? Who's to say? Personally, I'd like to see the Venge come back just for OG classic reasons. It would be pretty cool. Sam, any thoughts?
Just Specialized just needs to update everything. New everything. I think they're there now on a lot of their bikes. I think road and mountain bike updating. They're doing the same thing they've been doing for the past ever, is keeping a bike the same for a decade too long. I think we're at this point now where they need to change something.
It's a really interesting take that I think we'll dive into more when we get into the mountain bike section. But I mean, Specialized has been doing a pretty okay job of updating their road bikes every handful of years. Like the Diverge just got an update at the end of last season. The Tarmac was updated a couple of years ago. The Roubaix was updated around the same time as the Tarmac. But we'll get more into that take, I think, when we talk mountain bikes, because there's some interesting discussion to be had there. Sam, your list of road gravel bikes that you wanted to see updated was pretty short, but tell us why. Tell us about it, Sam.
Well, I'm a little bit of a small fanboy of the Colnago stuff. I think they're very, very pretty bikes, and I've heard, and it's been said, that apparently they're gonna update their TT bike. So I'm excited to see a new artsy looking missile from their side of things. And that's it. I just want a new Colnago missile on two wheels.
I mean, if you don't remember, we had a Colnago missile on two wheels come out just last year in the form of the Y1RS. But I won't lie, Colnago's been a leader in the TT space for some time in the way of their TT1, I think it's called. And seeing them come out with an update to that, it's got to be a pretty darn good bike to supersede their existing TT bike. Like that's what Giant did with their Giant Trinity, is they just didn't update it for so long because they couldn't make it faster. And they finally settled on something that they thought was both faster and more modern. So that'll be pretty interesting to see from Colnago. I'm going to follow kind of in the same vein. And I'm going to say the Specialized Shiv TT. The last updated somewhere around 2019, 2020. We've had Remco Evenepoel, basically the king of time trials in today's World Tour, on the Shiv TT for a very long time now. And I think with Remco around, the next Shiv TT has the potential to be groundbreaking. Also, it's a pretty awesome looking bike already. I'd be interested to see how they make it look in the next generation. Okay. Moving on from Specialized. Canyon's one of those direct-to-consumer brands that kind of just got their foot in the door by having well-priced bikes, not so much for having the highest performance bikes, initially at least. Like nowadays, they're super up there. But the Canyon Ultimate, their climbing road bike, has been the same for a bit too long. It's like they made a small update to give it T25 bolts everywhere, like last year or whatever it was. But the bike itself has been largely unchanged for a very long time, and I think is definitely due an update. So, Sam, do you have any thoughts on Canyon and a new Ultimate, perhaps?
Yeah, as you're saying, I think they're there now. Like it's been a while. I mean, like every bike brand should be doing, every 4 to 5 years. Maybe just doesn't need to be big changes. Like, but just re-updating things, maybe slight geo tunes, or maybe better colorways, or also updating maybe part stuff. Some people do that too, with many geo updates, so it's to see. But I would be down to see a new Canyon Ultimate. I think it's the time for them to change it.
Yeah, they updated their Aeroad not too long ago, and the Aeroad is now like a very competitive road race bike in the way of aerodynamics and everything else that goes along with that. But yeah, it'd be pretty rad to see the Ultimate change, get even lighter, maybe adopt some new standards. I don't think they would push the progressive road geometry on a climbing bike, but who's to say? They might. I don't know. Moving on, the last kind of road bike that I had on my list that I was excited to see get an update is the Orbea Orca Aero. It's a pretty cool looking bike. I've built a handful of them myself this past season, and like awesome bikes. They go together nicely, but doesn't perform all that well in the wind tunnel. Like it's a super chunked out looking aero race bike, but it's like on par with the do-it-alls, the likes of Cannondale Super 6 or whatever else. It's like not chunked out aero bikes are about the same speed or maybe even faster than this chunked out aero bike. So I would like to see the Orca Aero get updated to be, well, more aero, more with the times in the way of speed and standards. And yeah, I think press fit's dead for aero road bikes as well, but that's a different topic for a different day. So yeah, I think that's my thoughts on road bikes that I'm excited to see updated. Shall we move on to mountain bikes, Sam? I'll let you start first, because I think you have some opinions.
Okay, so for mountain bikes, excited to see the new Orem. It's been time for Norco to finally release a new DH bike. That after the release of that HSP hasn't really been any move on that side. So now with their new big push on that iTrack system and all of this cool research you've done with now Greg Minar on the team, I think we're going to have a pretty solid new DH bike. So I think that's going to do some nice new addition to the Norco brand and collection with a proper race DH rig. I think that's what they're missing.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what we think is this new Norco Orem getting lots of results under the likes of Gracie Hemstreet and some of the other guys on the Norco factory team. And as a brand, it kind of just looks bad that everyone's using your enduro bike as a DH platform. It's like when you have the range and just people are putting double crowns and running DH tracks on it, it's like you really have to put out an actual DH bike at that point. Like the Shore has kind of had its heyday. The Freeriders are still using the Shore, but for DH racing, you really need that proper DH sled. And I think this new Orem, when it does come out, is going to be exciting for sure. I would say for myself, the bike I'm probably most excited to see. Actually, I'll hold that one towards the end. I'll hold my most excited bike towards the end. But a bike that I am still very excited to see come out is Canyon Strive, the enduro bike that was being raced under the likes of Jesse Melamed, I think was his name. He had like a bunch of prototypes. He's been racing, like he was racing it for a couple of years at this point, and it's still not out yet. And surely it comes out soon. I wonder if they're going to keep the whole shapeshifter kind of design that they had going with the old Strive, or if they're just going to kind of scrap that and rely on the bike giving you what you need out of pedaling. So Canyon Strive, I think I'm pretty excited to see.
Yeah, I think that one's going to be interesting. After what we've seen with their new sender, I think we might see something kind of in that little different and kind of cool looking. So it's to see. I'm excited to see also what they'll do with that their shapeshifter. Yeah, I'm excited to see if that's staying or if that's going. It's kind of cool. It's a cool concept. Most people who've had it or I've seen have it say they really like that cool kind of easy to switch geo. So I'm excited to see if it's going to be one of those light enduro bikes maybe. So that'll be a cool thing to see. The new, well, it's not going to be new, but there's going to be updates. The new Zeroed enduro bike. Everybody knows about Zeroed, a small gearbox bike company. They make like really cool stuff. So new enduro bike. I'm excited to see. Maybe new colors. Maybe geo may change it a little bit. And then see if it'll go lighter than what it already is, or what they'll, because they have a mullet setup one too, just to see if they'll go and make that one full 2.9, or they'll do a like switch link, so see if you can do both the same platform. So I'm excited to see for that. Been a kind of a big fan since my brother's been riding the DH bike. Like I really like this stuff, so to see, I'm excited to see what comes around with that enduro bike.
I'll be honest, I haven't followed Zeroed's bikes all that much, aside from the DH bike that Xavier's been riding. But belt drive gearbox bikes, or just gearbox bikes as a whole, is something that I'm pretty interested in following as we go on. I really like the idea of moving everything to the bottom bracket and just get that weight as sprung mass instead of unsprung mass. I think that's going to be a really cool direction that bikes are going to go. I think it's going to take some time before they become bearable to pedal. But yeah, because a lot of gearbox bikes, the feedback that I've heard is that they just feel like an absolute slog to pedal, and the break-in period on those belts is a very long time. So it'll be, I'm pretty excited to follow where belt drive bikes are going. All right, on to the next bike that I'm pretty excited to see. A little bit of a unorthodox choice. We're talking about lots of full suspension bikes. We're talking about the high performance, right? I'm excited to see a new Norco Torrent. Super cool, steel hardtail. Just like, I really want one, but I don't know if they're making many frames. Like the frame stock seems to be super low. The bike build stock seems to be super low. And I'm on a bit of like a metal bike kind of kick right now. I really want to ride a metal bike, and steel just seems so cool. So I want to see them update the Norco Torrent. It's been quite a few years. I think it was 2021 or something like that they updated the Torrent last. So I want to see a new steel hardtail from Norco come out.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, Torrent's also been the name in their lineup for ages now. I think like every brand, especially Norco, it's been like a core brand that started with North Shore, and that bike has been, I think, in that lineup since then. And to see, maybe a comeback in a more just updated kind of steel machine would be cool to see. I don't think hardtails are dead. I mean, we've just seen Forbidden release 2 new Thai bikes, so I don't think those hardtails are dead. Just it'd be cool to see Norco come out with this cool little enduro type-esque hardtail.
Yeah, in the way of metal bikes, at least hardtails, I don't think they're gonna get much traction if they're alloy going forward. From at least like the experienced mountain bikers, like alloy is always gonna be a great kind of entry level price point bike for people to get. But like for the people that already know how to bike, already have a full suspension, and just want something to have fun on, I think steel and Thai is gonna be where hardtails are headed for that like kind of nice hardtail bracket. But yeah. Sam, I'll let you talk about the next bike that you're excited for, whichever one you choose off the list.
I really want Specialized to update the Enduro. I know they haven't updated it like that long ago, but I feel like they're doing like they did to the last generation of Enduros, and they're going to keep it the same for the next 20 years. And like, it's a nice bike. It actually, like, it performs well. Like I can't like take that off of them, but I feel like from like my experience with it, there's certain things that need to change on it for it to be a little better. Like the issue of people snapping coil springs in half when they run coils is something that needs to be reevaluated. And headsets. I think, like, I know Specialized makes light frames. Like, they're really good at light frames, but I think on an enduro sled, they should away from those integrated carbon braces in the headset and actually put a proper, like, breast fit headset, because there are people who are warrantying 3 to 5 frames a year because of ovalizing headsets. I've seen it. There's a guy at the store who hasn't that comes to our store and hasn't changed the bike in the past 2 years because he gets like 3 new frames a year. He just gets a new bike every year, and they ship him an S-Works frame every time they warranty it. So they need to fix this before it keeps going and it causes issues.
And really, all the more reason to update the bike. They're running out of warranty frames. Good God. I think the Enduro was updated in like 2019. It was a while ago, no? It's like going on 7 years now. And I had no idea that people were like snapping coils too. That's crazy. No, the Enduro is like, it's kind of that like benchmark platform. Like Specialized comes out with a bike that is like leaps and bounds ahead of so many other brands. And then people play catch up, and sometimes they go a bit too far, which is kind of what happened. Like, people played catch up, and then we went a bit too far. And now we've kind of come back, and we've landed basically right back on the Specialized Enduro again. And it's pretty cool to see, to be honest, how Specialized just kind of makes it right. And like, yeah, they're expensive, but they make some, aside from the quality control issues, they make some good bikes. Staying in the Enduro bike that hasn't been updated in quite a while vein, the Da Vinci Spartan. We have the Spartan HP right now. Hey everyone, editing Noah here. I just wanted to add a little bit of context to this one because we are talking about the Da Vinci Spartan that, as most of you will probably know, was literally just recently updated on March 26th, in fact. Just wanted to add some context and say that Sam and I had recorded this episode not 3 days before the new DaVinci Spartan launched. So I guess you could say, ask and you shall receive. Anyhow, back to the episode, and I'll leave it at that. And the freeride guys are all riding it. Well, the freeride guys that are on DaVinci, the movement, I think is what they're called. Riding the Spartan. Or the chainsaw, actually. I don't know if we have any enduro racers on DaVinci anymore, because I think their enduro team dissolved. Yeah. My brother actually has a Spartan HP. It's a sick bike. It's awesome, but it's showing its age, and it's like it's about time for a new one. So I'm pretty excited to see what DaVinci comes out with when they do come out with a new Spartan. Are they going to keep the high pivot? Are they going to modify the high pivot? Because the big sentiment that I hear about the Spartan is that it pedals like an absolute pig. I've pedaled it myself. It's definitely not peppy. It's okay. Like, it gets you up the hill in a reasonable amount of time. Maybe lock out the shock. But it's definitely not peppy. And I'm excited to see what they come out with when they do.
Well, like you're saying, like it's not a bad platform. I personally think that it was the Spartan HP was maybe a rushed, push line in the DaVinci's production, just because like everybody was going high pivot. I felt like they felt pressured to release something high pivot, and like it's not a bad bike, but like the big issues that we've seen with it is like it doesn't pedal right, but it's because there's so much drag in that whole system. I think they did rectify because the big issue was that idler tolerance was really bad, so we had to actually Dremel out like press out the bearing. We had to Dremel and reface that inside of that thing. It did help after we repress it. There was way less drag, but I just think the whole mix of what they were trying to do, plus that the split pivot and super boost kind of spacing, that was putting too much strain on that chain, which made it kind of weird bike. So I'm excited to see if they'll go boost, because they've brought most of their bikes back to boost spacing, and then see if that high pivot sticks or if they go another route. So I'm excited to see. I think DaVinci so far is coming out with a bunch of good bangers. So it's to see if if they come out with a new high pivot system, or maybe they decide to change it up after the slight mishaps they've had with that high pivot.
Yeah, they definitely, I feel like they hopped on the high pivot bandwagon just to kind of get one out there when everyone was talking about high pivot, and maybe it was a bit rushed. And on top of that, yeah, we talked about companies moving back to boost from super boost in a previous episode. It'd be interesting to see, are they going to stick with super boost? I think, was it Pivot that was another brand that was big on super boost, or maybe it was Ibis or some other brand that was big on super boost? But Pivot is still on super boost. Okay. So Pivot sticks to their guns on that one. It'll be pretty interesting to see if DaVinci decides to stick with super boost. Kind of hoping that they don't, frankly. I'm kind of hoping that they bring it back to boost, just because it's an enduro bike. It doesn't need super boost. It's fine. Yeah, looking forward to a new Spartan. And as a little aside, I want a new Wilson. The Wilson's iconic. I want a new Wilson. I
like the nostalgia of the brand. The Wilson, I think, should come back. At the same time, would it be soon? I don't know. Just because they've released the chainsaw, is to see. I mean, and DaVinci, like, it's a known brand, but it's not a big brand. And I think for them to develop a proper DH bike, they would want to have like actual DH athletes to run it. I don't think they're financially there yet, but I would still keep my hopes up, because every year the DaVinci reps talk about the Wilson and want to re-release a Wilson. It's a matter of time. So it's to see. I don't think it's going to be quite yet, but I want to keep my hopes up just like you. I think they need to bring back the Wilson.
Long live chainsaw. Okay, Sam, I'll let you again pick or talk about another bike that you're excited for. Or we got a good we've got a good list here. I think there's bikes that are actually like they've been out for a while.
Yeah.
They've been marinating. It's like it's time for a new one. So tell us, Sam, what do you have in store?
Well, you know me. I've ridden Deviate a while ago. I've had two pretty good builds with them. Both their trail or would say all mountain bike, trail all mountain bike, the Highlander. I had the V1 back then, and then I rode the Claymore the first year they released it. Now they've come out with a Highlander 2, and now so I'm excited to see because like for high pivot platforms, I think they've got one of the most like tamed ones. Like the bike pedals like for what it is for a high pivot, like especially the Highlander, like it pedals like almost a small 130 trail bike. Like it's a very quiet rear end. That seat post angle is like right over that BB, so like you feel planted when you climb. And on this descents, it just like it tears. So I'm excited to see what after the V2, I'm excited to see what V3 is going to look like, and I'm excited to see what they'll do with the the Claymore V2. I want to see that come out soon. So pumped to see what Deviate brings out soon.
Yeah, I don't know much about Deviate's bikes myself. I've never ridden them. I think I maybe briefly rode your Claymore once. I didn't realize they were still on their V1 Claymore, but I've heard nothing but good things about Deviate's high pivot platform, and their bikes have been very well regarded, although not in large supply. So that's the nature of being a small brand. So that's how she goes. All right. I teased you all for long enough. I am excited to see a new BMC 4-stroke XC bike. Their full suspension XC bike. We saw it on the World Cup circuit being tested with 32-inch wheels, like a prototype, last year. I think like one news outlet, I think it was maybe just one news outlet, got to actually try it. Ronan McLaughlin from Escape Collective got to actually ride it. And I want to see, are they actually going to put out a 32-inch production XC race bike? Because that would be awesome. That would be so cool. For like XC is really the only place that I'm really excited to see how 32-inch wheels fare. Like, yeah, it'll have its place in gravel for like the really tall guys. But for XC, that extra rollover, and especially as courses are getting super technical, having that rollover is going to be probably really important, I think. Not really a big XC guy myself, but I'm getting there. XC is getting cooler to watch. I picked up the road bike not long ago. It's not long before I pick up XC. So yeah, I want to see if they actually put out a 32-inch XC race bike when all these other brands are hesitant. Like when Giant released the new Anthem, they were asked about it. It's like, were you guys thinking about a 32-inch? It's like, of course we were thinking about it, but they thought it was too early. And then they released their 29-inch bike. It'd be pretty funny to see BMC go, no, it's ready. 32-inch, here you go.
Now, my big question is, though, do you think it looks too much like all the other XC bikes? I'm pumped to see, like, what 30, like, I feel like 32, I don't want it to go further than XC, just because I think it would be ridiculous on Enduros and DH bikes, but I think it's a cool thing that they're exploring it. I'm actually excited to see if they'll be willing to be the first ones to pull the plug on it and actually release something in 32. Because even when I started seeing this stuff coming out, I was like, this does not look like a 29er. And when I first saw it was 32, I was like, okay, I think they're going to be the first brand to actually try it, because they're the only one so far that we've seen with a full 32 setup. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, we've heard brands talk about like a race to the first cross-country World Cup win on 32-inch wheels. And I mean, BMC seems like they're the furthest ahead in that race. And going back to the question of, do I think it looks like all the other XC race bikes? It does. It looks like every other XC race bike. aside from the fact that it has 32-inch wheels and a slammed stem. Like, honestly, as cool as like 50 mil rise bars and 30 mil spacers under the stem looks for like the big Dakota Norton moto style stance, there's nothing quite like a slammed XC bike. Negative stem, just all the way over. It looks sick. Especially like there's companies making like stems that are attaching both under and over the head tube just so you can get the handlebars low enough. I think 32-inch wheels is going to be one of the big things that separate how XC bikes look. And XC bikes, they are starting to look the same. But maybe that's a topic for an Instagram reel. Who knows? We'll see you there. Yeah, I'm really excited to see where 32-inch wheels go, and I do agree it shouldn't go past XC. Like there was a company I think that put out, maybe it was a 140, 130 trail bike with 32-inch wheels. It was like some really small brand that probably just tried to beat everyone to the punch. I don't know how it's gonna ride. I don't have any desire to try a trail bike with 32-inch wheels. Like, bike packing hardtail, maybe, sure. But at the same time, it doesn't really leave much room for bags. Or just hardtails. I think it could work on hardtails as well. And that could be, because like you don't really have to worry about a linkage and having room for a big wheel to move. And big rollover, steel frame. I think it could work super well. But yeah. So I think that's all the bikes that we're excited to see come out soon, hopefully. Maybe some will come out this year. Maybe some will come out 3 years from now. Who knows? But we're excited for them. And I think that is a good place to end it. Sam, thank you for joining me. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. And we will see you all next time. Have a good one.
Goodbye, folks.